feed over here is absolutely great. We tried to do this last year, but we had some technical difficulties. But what do you guys think about that? It's working for you? All right. Feel free, while I'm speaking, if you guys want to give me some, ideas. They're flying by pretty quick, though. But if there's anything that you want to share while we're going along, if I hear something that's pretty funny, we may have to figure out a way to slow that down, or I may ask. But I'm good with feedback, real time, so feel free, hashtag TNL. If it's, hey, quit walking around, hey, shut up, hey, turn your mic down, feel free. All right, so we'll get things cranking here. What you're in for about the next 35, 40 minutes, and then we'll probably just have a lot of dialogue, is talking about talent. When I was going through the presentation, last year what I did was the secrets of a corporate recruiter, and basically what I'm kind of known for and what I try to do is just look at what are techniques that I leverage that I might be able to share from a tactical standpoint and just pass them on and just say, hey, take these, run with them, see if you can improve them, make them better. That's kind of what I try to do. This year what I figured I would do is take some of those ideas, but I would also sum it up with kind of the war for talent kind of feel. And so you may see some military things in here. Don't have to be big. It's not like big military, unfortunately, like for Chris. There's not bombs going off or anything. And they were actually taking bets on, I think it got as high as $150 for me to wear like a total like army outfit. So, but 150, is that how high it got for me to wear like the full army outfit?
You wear a Kevlar helmet? One of those pot helmets.
So, but it's going to be very light on the military thing, so not to worry about that one. So if you're not big into the military, don't worry. So what I wanted to do is just the first thing, although Chris said, being very informal, unconference. I'm sorry, I have a full deck, more than one page. And what I'm going to do is just kind of go a quick intro on who I am. Then I'm going to get through, there is a little video that I'll take you through. And then the last thing is it's my, kind of what I would say my 5 T's for, if this would ever go forward, my 5 T's for winning the war for talent. Okay? Real quick, without getting into too much of the PepsiCo fanboy network, I just want to give you a little idea about what goes on around talent acquisition for PepsiCo and a little bit about who we are. Just so you know in this building today what's going on and some of the things that we do around this place. PepsiCo, we just, it's Pepsi, Frito, Quaker, Tropicana, Gatorade, Pepsi Bottling Group, Pepsi Americas. We actually just bought back the Pepsi Bottling Group and Pepsi Americas, so that was in the last year that we did that. Took us from about 195,000 employees up to above 250. And we're global, obviously, and we have 19 brands within the PepsiCo family that are over $1 billion. And that's a billion with an E. Anybody have any guesses on some of those? I mean, some of the names are up there. But, there you go. Frito, Pepsi. Some of the drinks that you're drinking today, Aquafina. You've got, pretty much if it's a chip that's out there and it's not Pringles, or it's not a store brand. But I know that when I first, I have to move this over here. When I first started with the company, I had absolutely no idea about some of the stuff up here. So, it's kind of cool when you get to do, I do a lot of the recruiting for the marketing and the sales organization. I have a new role that I'll probably talk about here on the next slide. But just being able to see the fruits of your labor going to work on some of these big brands, and when it's $1 billion brand, if you put the right person in the right role, seeing them being able to affect the stock price is really cool. So, when you put the right person on the Doritos team, when you put the right person in there on Cheetos, it's great stuff. So some of the things that I know the first time I saw this, like, this doesn't make sense. 7-Up is not part of PepsiCo. How the heck is that on there? We actually distribute 7-Up outside of the United States. So that's how we have that one on there. So, and then Lipton is actually not ours, but that's a joint venture, a joint partnership that we have. All right, Speech 101. Took that in school, always said, hey, what's your credibility statement? Why do you have the right to be talking to somebody today? So I want to just put that up there really quick. Actually, I did an internship in college in recruiting. So it's one of those things where it's kind of like one of those, I just knew what I wanted to do. And it's just, it started off on the agency side right out of college with management recruiters and loved that. Got recruited in by my key customers. I think they said, hey, we're spending too much money on this guy, let's pull him in, and and so that's how I got into the corporate world. I've been told I'm an applicant tracking system subject matter expert. I don't know how much we'll go into some of that stuff today, so that doesn't really matter too much. For the last 9 years with PepsiCo, I've been with PepsiCo now going on 10. Talent acquisition manager, DFW TLN, but my new role is I've just been tapped on the shoulder to create and lead PepsiCo's internal candidate generation sourcing function. So more or less what we're doing is, think about it in simplest terms, is internal agency for PepsiCo. So when somebody has a tough to fill need, they're coming to my team, and I have these recruiting ninjas that we then go out and will, the kind of the special forces that you'll hear about here, that will go out and fill the jobs and put candidates in front of the customers. Okay? All right. Now, I have heard, there's this guy, anybody heard of General Patton? Anybody see the movie? Okay, you know that scene with the flag, all that other stuff? Figured I'd have some fun with that one, okay? So if you get a laugh out of it, great. If you don't, you think it's cheesy, then you're like my wife. She thought it was quite cheesy as well. So, but I thought we'd have some fun with it, okay? So I'll run with this. A miraculous appearance at TalentNet. Did everybody, were you guys able to read that? Was it going too fast? Okay. So basically, General Patton's making a miraculous appearance here at TalentNet. I'm going to have to mess with the sound here real quick because it may be too loud here.
Ladies recruiters, welcome to the strategy and tactical briefing for mission codename TalentNet. We're here to learn today about social media strategies and best practices for finding people better and faster to win the war for talent. What I want to be able to share with you today are the ideas and strategies, technology, training, and tools to help you win this war for talent. We're up against some hefty competition out there. So what we need to do is make sure you know how to recruit better than everyone else to get these candidates. It's not about doing the same thing as everyone else. Hell, anyone can search Monster and Career Builder and do the basics. It's innovation that makes the difference. It's new tactics. It's new technology that wins wars. That's the big ticket item. Now, I'm going to hand it over to this Schnyder guy for briefing. He's got some good ideas for you. So, listen up, okay?
What's the sinking on the mouth?
Come on. I'll be proud to lead you wonderful people in about time, anywhere. That is all.
Right, so that was, I don't know, about 2 a.m. last night, and about 10 takes on that, so that was a lot of fun, but thank you, very creative. I was like, hey, Patton's coming in to kick it off, right? So we thought we'd have some fun with that. Now, I know the Patton's probably, if he were here, he'd probably sick some drill sergeant on me, and just so, you never know if there might be some crazy drill instructor that might come screaming at me or something. So here's what I wanted to just take. What I would say are my 5 T's to win the war for talent. We're going to take you through the tactics, the tools, and a little bit of technology, a little bit of training, and ultimately then on some techniques. I'm going to spend a lot of time on tactics and strategies because I think that's really what you want to hear about. I know tools, we're actually having a tools panel a little bit later, so I'm not going to go deep into some of the newer items that are out there or some of the things. I may demo some of those in the tools panel. And then technology, Very similar to tools, but we'll talk a little bit more about some of the social media strategies and some of the things you can do, and then training and also techniques. I do.
Private Schnyder. Yeah, I see you got that sixth one you left off there, the 16, which is talent. You have no talent, meaning you left it off, but you have no talent.
Okay, so I tried. It was like it started off as a good idea about having someone be there yelling and screaming at me, keeping you guys on your toes, but yeah. As long as you're getting a little smirk out of it, a little fun. I'm not saying anything up there yet that this sucks. So I'm waiting for that, of course, all right? All right. So when we talk about tactics and strategies, we're brought up on kind of the theme of war, right? Who remembers some of these games? Oh, yeah. The top one is Risk, of course, chess, Stratego, Battleship. You know, those are things where it's all about, you know, what is your competition doing? What are you doing? What's your strategy? How are you going to start working? How are you going to make things? But the big thing is that if you learn one way and you just do that the whole time, well, sometimes that works in chess because they say, you know, the masters are always working these different moves, but they always start off with a certain strategy that they're going with, and the first move makes everything happen with what they're doing. So what I would tell you is, when you're looking at new strategies and tactics, what have you done that has been a new thing to learn a new strategy or a tactic? You know, you play in the same way you always do. So that's why definitely, when we get into a little bit more of the training, but come into TalentNet, watching webinars, do all the different things that you do, you really need to make sure that you're learning some new things. The other thing is that we're moving from tactical to strategic. So one of the things that I will tell you that, you know, I've been with PepsiCo for, going on 10 years. And the thing is I've always been in, and I'm just sharing this with you, is that, you know, do I want to do the management route? Do I want to do kind of the recruiting piece, which is absolutely what I love. And so the one thing is that when you get into, you know, the recruiting is very, very tactical. But if on the management side, it's more strategic. So if you wanted to go that route, what is it that you're doing to start being and learning more and doing more strategic things? So I bring that up there just to show you that, you know, keep learning, keep going through. All right, I'm going to spend a lot of time on this slide because this is the stuff I think out of my deck that you guys will probably like to hear. And I'll go through my